Well, good morning. Welcome to Cornerstone Christian Church. We are so glad that you could join us. We're going to share in a wonderful day in the Lord this morning. If you are able, will you please stand? Let's all worship together. Reading from 1 Thessalonians. For God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us, so that whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. Amen. My life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God.
I cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled and died for me. I see his wound, his hands, his feet, my Savior on that cursed tree. His body bound and drenched in tears, they laid him down in Joseph's tomb. The entrance sealed by heavy stone, Messiah still and all alone. Oh, praise the shall pierce the night, and I will rise above the saints. My gaze and fixed on Jesus' face. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise His name forevermore. For endless days we will sing Your praise, O Lord our God. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise His name forevermore. For endless days we will sing Your praise, O Lord our God. O Lord our God. O Lord our God. Amen.
Father God, we come to You this morning. We love You, Lord. We thank You for Your mercy, for Your goodness. We thank You for the hope that we have, for the confidence that You will return, and that we will one day be with You in glory. Lord God, as we gather as Your church, we ask that You fill us this morning. Give us ears to hear You, Lord. We know Your Spirit is among us. We thank You, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Would you be seated? As we come to our time of communion and Johnny comes forward to share with us communion thoughts, we do invite all believers to join us in communion. He will pray over communion for us, and then you're welcome to come forward. There are trays at the front and at the back, as well as a tray for your offering.
Good morning. A few weeks ago, I had the realization that it was almost deer season here in Michigan. Actually, I knew it was coming. What I actually realized was that I needed to prep my deer stands, the ladder stands, and get all that stuff situated. This meant moving, repositioning, getting better coverage over the property. As I fought through the thick brush, clearing paths, I found myself entangled in briars and thorns. Thorns have a way of reaching out and grabbing in a way that often leaves me with small tears in my clothes, cuts and scratches. The worst ones are when I pull away and I have a thorn that remains in my skin. My patient wife has helped remove many thorns from my hands. My frustration with thorns has led me to dig in deeper to what Scripture has to say. There are numerous studies and plans, guides, books, videos, you name it, that dig into the meaning and purpose of thorns throughout Scripture in our own lives. I found that the word thorn or thorns is mentioned approximately 56 times throughout the Bible. The first mention is in Genesis 3, when God curses the ground because of Adam and Eve's actions. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you. Thorns are mentioned numerous times throughout the Old Testament. Psalms, Proverbs, Job, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Judges, Samuel, Hosea, Micah, and many others. They all mention thorns at one point or another. Thorns are mentioned throughout the New Testament as well. In 2 Corinthians, Paul writes about a thorn in his side as a metaphorical representation of a messenger of Satan meant to torment him as a reminder of his own weakness and the power of Christ's strength in weakness. Jesus also used thorns in his teaching. In Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus teaches the parable of the sower. where he illustrates the conditions of the heart and our response to the gospel message. Mark 7 says, "Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked out the plants, so that they did not bear grain." Probably the most notable mention of thorns in Scripture is the crown of thorns that was placed on Jesus during his crucifixion. This crown of thorns is mentioned in all four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, highlighting the mockery and torment Jesus endured. Throughout Scripture, thorns are used to represent sin, suffering, challenges, and moral struggle. I don't believe it was a coincidence that the symbol of sin was woven into a crown and placed on the head of the one who would overcome it. The devil might have thought it was a clever form of mockery, but God had bigger plans. So as we come to this time of communion, let's take these elements and let's remember the thorns that Jesus has overcome on our behalf. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning praising your holy name. We thank you for your forgiveness of all of our sins. Lord, I pray that if there are those among us that are stuck in the thorns, that you would be at work in them now. Lord, prepare our hearts and our minds for your message. In Jesus' name, amen.
As we transition today, I just want to take a moment for us to pray together as a church family, as we often do. And so if you're a guest with us today, we don't want you to be over intimidated by this or anything along those lines, and you're certainly welcome to pray on your own. But we want to encourage one another here just to pray together and just to be open to the way that God is leading. Because and from my perspective, we've got quite the treat today of hearing from John Nugent, and I'll talk about him here in just a second. But leading into that, I also just hope and pray here that we would just take a moment to open up our ears, soften our hearts, and for our hands to be ready and willing to serve him. So if we just take 90 seconds or so with those who are around you and just pray, and pray that God would that he would soften your heart and that you would be able to hear with fresh ears. Go ahead. Holy Father, we just thank you for this time. God, I thank you for just for John and his willingness to come and to share your word with us. And God, I just pray that we as a church family would not take your word lightly. We would never take it for granted. But as we have been wrestling with the subject of being an unstoppable team, and that's not because anything special about us, but God, because of the unstoppable King in whom we serve and who adopted us as his children. So God, I just pray that now that you would just give us ears to hear clearly, that you would give us hearts that are ready to receive and hands that are ready and willing to obey you fully this week. So God, would your Spirit work in us and through us, and just to challenge us further to be and to make better followers of your Son, Jesus. God, I pray all this in your Son's name. Amen. When I moved here to Michigan in 2017, I went to a different Bible college. And so when we moved here and we supported Great Lakes Christian College, it quickly became on my list to get to know the college, get to know the leaders and the professors and things. And I had heard early on about this guy named Dr. John Nugent. And it was all good things, and then I began to flip through his books, and then I quickly learned through some ministers' retreats and through just reaching out to him that he is a man who is more than willing to encourage, to walk alongside ministers. And on a few occasions, I've had the chance to sit down with coffee and just to ask him questions and help me to think through some things. He's a brilliant thinker. He loves the Word. He loves the Restoration movement. And from my perspective, he represents the best of it. And so I'm grateful to have him share. But I also want to share just a second as to why I've asked John to come on this particular subject. Is as we were planning out and laying out, we had talked as life group leaders and staff a little bit as well about what topics do we find most pressing from the Word to address in this series, because we want to be faithful in being the church as Scripture describes. And so we're wrestling with that because there's a lot of ways in which some wrong ideas have creeped in. And so as I was going through, there was a subject that came to mind from a number of people, and it was the subject of being a team of friendship. And I was finishing up one of John's books, and there was a chapter on friendship and how that looks within the church. And so as I was laying out this series and I was preparing for this week, I thought, I'm just going to quote John the whole time. Why not just get John? And so that's my introduction, is I'm going to introduce to you Dr. John Nugent. Would you just give him a warm welcome here to Cornerstone?
Good morning. You nailed it in the sound booth. Well done. That's always the concern. How's that going to work? And you don't want to start talking and then just hear yourself and, all right, how are we going to make this work? It's such a privilege to be with you this morning, and it's my honor to be asked to share a message with you. And I've been given a pretty tight assignment. Say in a sermon what you said in the book. And so it's going to be, I've tried to mold it so it doesn't feel like a chapter out of a book, but it might be a word from the Lord and a message that would encourage and challenge you, as it did me when I first wrestled with this topic. But I want to formally greet you all on behalf of Great Lakes Christian College, as well as my church family, Delta Community Christian Church, and Silas Lesenby, who has joined me here this morning. You may have assumed he's my son. He's not. He's a friend in the Lord, part of my church family, and I'm so happy that he wanted to join me this morning and join you in fellowship. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm grateful to Devin for the kind invitation. I was excited to hear that you were all going to be talking about friendship this morning. This is a topic that Christians seldom think we need to talk about in church. We assume that friendship is like water or bow ties. We don't need to analyze them from a biblical perspective because everyone already knows what they are. So a Christian view, we might assume, wouldn't be significantly different from the wider culture's view. But what if it is? What if Jesus has something to say about friendship that is remarkably different than from what most people think? I was forced to wrestle with these questions several years ago when my own church family was struggling with the notion of friendship. Some of our members were acting and speaking about friendship in ways that didn't seem quite right, but we couldn't quite put our finger on it. So we actually planned a weekend-long retreat where we could explore the subject in detail. I was asked to deliver the opening message to launch the topic. And for the first time, I turned to the scriptures, asking the question, what does God's word have to say about friendship? I honestly didn't know what to expect. And what I discovered was surprisingly helpful. Once again, God's word proved to be living, active, and directly relevant to today's church. Before diving into the scriptures, I thought it would be interesting to see what the world thinks about friendship. And that's pretty easy to find out in an internet age, even before the AI revolution. Since ChatGPT didn't exist yet, I started with Wikipedia. Its definition was surprisingly unhelpful. And not because I disagreed with what it had to say, but because it seemed unable to offer any kind of clear definition. It was just word salad. Lots of words, not much content. So I turned to my next go-to website, one that I consulted for many of my day-to-day needs, howstuffworks.com. Hear what it has to say about friendship, and I'll be reading a few paragraphs because I want you to capture the fullness of how it approaches it. Friendship is a type of relationship between two people who care about each other. But such a dry definition doesn't do the concept of friendship justice. Consider these examples. A friend is the first person you call when you want to share good news. A friend remembers that you don't like pickles on your sandwich. A friend will accompany you on most of the boring errands of the world and make them seem fun. In other words, friendship is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and much ink has been spilled in citing the virtue of having friends. That's not to say friendship is easy, though. It demands time and effort, and it requires that people put someone other than themselves first sometimes. But in exchange for that work, a friend can provide an immense amount of support and comfort in good times and in bad. Many qualities are necessary for a good friendship, including honesty, trustworthiness, loyalty, and unconditional acceptance. A friendship should make both people in the relationship happy. Both people should have fun when they spend time together. To be perfectly frank, that's a tall order. Human beings can clash very easily, which is why it's hard for some people to maintain many friendships. It's possible that friendship can exist between two people at one stage in life, but then changes and personal growth may make friendship impossible at another stage. It can be hard to meet the people who would make the perfect friend. And that's where their definition ends. According to this article, friends are those whom you are excited to share things with, who know small details about your life, and who make boring activities seem interesting. The author acknowledges that friendship requires work, but then suggests that it's worth the effort because friends support us during bad times. At the end of the day, according to this article, the most significant contributions that friends make are that they add happiness and fun to our lives. For that to happen, friendship requires honesty, trustworthiness, loyalty, and unconditional acceptance. A good friend accepts their friends just the way they are without any expectation of change. Now, this article does a great job of summarizing how our culture views friendship, and in my experience, how many believers also view friendship. But there is something fundamentally disturbing about this portrait. It would be hard to imagine Jesus putting it exactly that way. It sounds too self-serving and too focused on a hedonistic view of life that presumes that happiness and fun are the highest goals to achieve. Having said that, it still resonates with the experience of many believers and unbelievers alike. In fact, I would venture to say that this depiction of friendship is the general picture that most Christians in America work with. They work with this, I suspect, because the church hasn't really given them anything different or better to replace it with. This is not to say that most churches teach us to be self-centered. They all pretty much warn against that. But what they do not often teach is how contemporary notions of friendship tend to be wrapped up in a self-centered worldview. But one of the most profound truths we learn when we study the entirety of Scripture is that God's Word has important light to shed on countless topics and practices that we did not grow up thinking it did. Just this morning, you got my head going on thorns in the Bible. What a rich theme. From the very creation and fall to the redemption on the cross. And wow, I'm gonna have to go back to the Bible and look at all the thorn passages. But the Bible teaches us that how we dress matters, that what we eat matters, that who we date matters, and what we think about matters, even if we have no intention of acting on those thoughts. Friendship is one of those topics. So this morning, we're going to look at what Jesus teaches about friendship. And I don't have anything on the screen this morning because that's one thing that could go wrong that I want to eliminate from the equation. But if you want to turn or bring up in your Bibles or your app to John 15, verses 9 to 17, this is probably the longest, most extended discussion of the topic of friendship in Scripture. We're going to look at a few other verses that refer to it in passing, but John 15, verses 9 to 17, is where Jesus kind of weighs in the most deeply. John 15, 9 to 17. And here's what he says. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I have said these things to you that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving you these commands so that you may love one another. Jesus teaches us two important truths about friendship in this passage. First, he teaches us that friends love one another. The greatest act of love, of course, is to lay down one's life for one's friend. This concept may be old hat to many of you in this room. We've heard this a million times, and it is a key difference between worldly friendship and Christian friendship. Christians are not selfish with their friends, but are self-giving to their friends, even to the point of death. But the difference runs deeper than that. The second truth Jesus teaches us is that friendship is rooted not in producing happiness and fun, but in fully disclosing or revealing ourselves to one another and getting on the same page. In verse 15, Jesus said, "I do not call you servants any longer because the servant doesn't know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father." Jesus' disciples go from being servants to friends when he tells them everything he knows about God's kingdom, and when they are willing to abide in that kingdom as Jesus does. Put differently, when the disciples get on the same page as Jesus, they become partners in his kingdom work, and thus his friends. As co-creator of the universe, the one through whom all things hold together, Jesus knows better than anyone what true friendship entails. And from his perspective, his friends are those who are as obsessed with the kingdom of God as he is. Furthermore, these friends of Jesus were not a homogeneous group. They were not the type who would get coffee together and text back and forth all day. They were not, among his disciples were both tax collectors and zealots. Though many people despise tax collectors, zealots despise them the most. The zealots wanted more than anything to overthrow the corrupt Roman government, and they made strategic, violent demonstrations against it. Tax collectors, on the other hand, were the financial backbone of the Roman government. Only Jesus could take such a potentially explosive group and make friends of them, which is exactly what he did. My point is this: friendship in the kingdom is not rooted in shared hobbies, taste in movies, sense of humor. It is rooted in common commitment to God's reign. Since that reign is all-inclusive, all who are obsessed with it find themselves caring about the same things, sharing common convictions and principles, using common discretion in the choices they make, and valuing common goods and activities. I'm not the first to suggest this. St. Augustine approached friendship this way, as did some monk you probably never heard of, Alred of Rivaux. He says there are three kinds of friendship: carnal friendship, which originates and revolves around mutual love for immorality. Second, worldly friendship, which originates and revolves around personal advantage and worldly ambition. And the third is spiritual friendship, which is life together in Christ. All of this means that all of us in this room who have made the kingdom of God our foremost priority also possess the utmost potential for friendship with one another. Notice I did not say, as long as we are part of the same church. We all know that two people from the same church can have different degrees of commitment to God's kingdom. Paul admits this in 1 Corinthians 11:19 when he says, "Indeed, there have to be factions among you, for only so will it become clear who among you are genuine. But among those who genuinely seek God's kingdom first, such believers cannot help but count as the closest of friends anyone else who does the same." Now, I don't know about you, but my life experience has resonated with Jesus' approach to friendship. When I was in high school, I was friends with my non-Christian classmates and teammates as long as we were about the same thing. But once I became a believer, I didn't enjoy everything they enjoyed. I didn't speak with the same vocabulary. And I didn't want the same things out of life. So we eventually parted ways. The problem was not that I was more mature in the faith and they were less mature. The problem was that I was in the faith and they were not. I then bumped into a guy my age named Brad, who was a believer, and we quickly became the best of friends. Not long after that, I came to GLCC and found out that I had a bunch of friends I never knew I had. It is only at this point that I began developing healthy friendships with females and with people who were twice my age. It didn't matter that we were from different states, that we were different genders or ages. It didn't matter that we listened to different music, wore different clothes, and rooted for different sports teams. Probably not a lot of Yankee fans in the room. I'm from New York. But we followed the same Lord according to the same scriptures. And to the extent that we followed him with our entire lives, we found ourselves becoming better and better friends with one another. Now for the awkward question. If common faith is what draws us together, is it possible for there to be genuine friendship between a believer and an unbeliever? Paul seems to have a clear answer to this question in 2 Corinthians 6, 14 to 18, where he says, "Do not be mismatched with unbelievers. For what partnership is there between righteousness and lawlessness? Or what fellowship is there between light and darkness? What agreement does Christ have with Beliar? Or what does a believer share with an unbeliever? What agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will live and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Therefore, come out from them, and be separate from them, says the Lord, and touch nothing unclean. Then I will welcome you, and I will be your Father, and you shall be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty." This is a tough word to hear. It's tough for me to hear. It is tough because it seems to militate against so much of our personal experience. For example, when a friend and I were talking about this passage together, he objected that he and an unbeliever from work were the very closest of friends. They loved spending time together. They laughed a lot and knew all the lines to the same movies. They knew each other quite well and would contact each other whenever there was exciting news to share. In short, their friendship embodied all the great stuff that howstuffworks.com deems necessary for a good friendship. Nevertheless, it falls short of the standard set by Jesus. This is not to say that my friend and howstuffworks.com are not onto something. There was and continues to be genuine affinity between believers and unbelievers. The Bible doesn't quite have a word for such mutual fondness, but for the sake of conversation, consider a term that I totally made up and that hopefully will never catch on. The term likemanship. Likemanship. When you like being around someone because they make you laugh and cause you to lose track of time, perhaps you are falling in like with them. There's nothing wrong with liking all sorts of people, and being liked by an unbeliever may cause them to trust you and even open doors for evangelism. Praise be to God. But the relationship between likemanship and friendship is kind of similar to the relationship between infatuation and love. Jesus teaches us that a person's love is evident in how they truly know someone, warts and all, and are still willing to put that person's well-being before their own. But most of you have seen and experienced counterfeit love. It is common for teenagers to admire peers or celebrities from a distance. They don't really get to know them intimately, but they are attracted to them physically. They like their personality and can somehow imagine building the rest of their lives around that person. They may have posters on their walls and "I love so-and-so" notes on their notebooks. They might even stalk their socials. But that's not love. It's infatuation. In a similar vein, we easily confuse friendship with likemanship. Friendship is companionship on a shared journey. Likemanship is enjoyment of shared time. Believers and unbelievers are not friends in the first sense of that term, but they may develop a strong sense of likemanship. They appreciate one another's humor. They share all sorts of common interests that make for endless small talk and enjoyable conversations. They like to hang out and draw energy from one another. But they are not friends in Jesus' sense. They can never be friends in that sense until either the believer stops prioritizing God's kingdom above all else, or the unbeliever makes that priority, the kingdom priority, their own, just like the disciples of Jesus did. This is why Christians are instructed not to marry unchristians, and why Paul can say in 1 Corinthians 7 that Christians are not married like the world gets married. At baptism, believers commit to seeking first God's kingdom with their whole life. So to bind oneself to someone who does not put the kingdom first is to abandon one's first commitment. Christians should only marry when they believe they can best seek first God's kingdom as someone who is married to this other kingdom first seeker. We don't marry to bring meaning to our life. Jesus is our meaning. We don't marry to secure our finances. Jesus is our security. We don't marry so that we can finally have a family. Jesus has given us a family. We marry believers only because only a believer can be as obsessed about the kingdom of God as we are. In the same way, non-believers may also become friends with one another. They can certainly be on the same page as one another, and their friendship can possess great power. God recognizes this sort of power in the Babel account of Genesis 11. All the people of the earth were of one mind. They spoke one language, and they possessed one agenda. God knew that with such friendship, they could do anything that they set their minds to. Unfortunately, they set their minds to disobeying God's commands to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. They sought instead to make a name for themselves by building an impressive city, an impressive legacy. In befriending one another in this way, they became enemies of God. As Jesus' brother says in James 4:4, "Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world becomes an enemy of God." Those are Scripture's words, not mine. Christians are those whose common friendship with God makes us friends with one another. It is therefore a devilish lie to claim that any two members of the body of Christ cannot be friends because they don't have anything in common. If any two believers in Christ's body cannot find a friend in the other, it is because one or both of them must not be seeking first God's kingdom. For some of you, that's a lot to hear all at once. I don't blame Devin for passing the buck to me on this one. But it's also subject to misunderstanding. So let me clarify what I am saying and what I'm not saying. I am saying that biblical friendship is different from worldly friendship. Worldly friendship is rooted in personal preference and pleasure. Biblical friendship is rooted in shared commitment to God's kingdom mission. I am not saying that we should cut off from our lives anyone who is not a Christian. I am saying that our relationships with unbelievers are necessarily limited by their unbelief. They can only go so deep. Our desire for those relationships is that they grow into the fullness of friendship that is only available for those who are united in Christ. I am not saying that we should stop referring to unbelievers as friends on account of their unbelief, which would be deeply insensitive, offensive, and potentially hurtful to them and our witness to them. I am saying that we need to take more seriously than many of us have the kinds of friendships that we ought to have with fellow members in the body of Christ. Perhaps we have held some of them at arm's length because we have bought into the world's lie that we don't have enough in common with them in terms of age, hobbies, personalities, voting record, philosophy of schooling, or preferred forms of recreation or entertainment. I am also saying that for those of us who are in Christ, Jesus had made promises to us that we may not yet have fully claimed. Listen to his words in Mark 10, verses 28 to 30. Truly I tell you, there is no one who has left houses or brothers or sisters or mother or father or children or fields for my sake and for the sake of the good news, who will not receive 100-fold now in this age houses, brothers and sisters, mothers and children, and fields with persecutions, and in the age to come, eternal life. Jesus' teaching here is quite clear. When we choose God's kingdom, Jesus welcomes us into a wider family of friends, 100 times the size of any ties that we have had to leave behind. Importantly, according to Jesus, these friends are not waiting for us in the resurrection age to come, but they are God's gift to us now in this age. He is talking about our church families, the circle of friends that surround all of us right now in this room. And it's time that we start living like it. And not just for our sake, but for the world's sake. Jesus says that the lost world will know we are Christians by our love for one another. And he prays in John 17 that his followers will be one, like the Father and Son are one, so that the world may believe that the Father sent the Son and has changed the course of world history. This means that our love, our unity, and our friendship is all the evidence this world needs to believe. And it's our sacred responsibility and privilege to show them. Let us pray. Lord God, we thank you for taking people like us and making us your friend. Lord, what a privilege to be friends with the Lord of the universe, Lord, there are people in this room that have not come to know you as friend, and they have not come to enjoy the friendship that is available to them in this church family. Lord, we invite them into friendship with you and into this church family. Lord, there may be people here who have been here a while. Lord, they're committed to you. They're friends of you, but they haven't quite yet embraced friendship with one another. Maybe they've allowed worldly boundaries to get in between that friendship. Lord, we pray that they would humble themselves to accept the gift you have given them of friendship in the body of Christ, to enjoy that gift, to display that gift before the watching world, a world that is lonely, a world of people who have been betrayed by their friends, abandoned by their friends, fair weather friends. Lord, help us to embody a friendship that is modeled after your unity. And Lord, use that friendship as a magnet to draw all people to yourselves. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
So each week here we've had just a time for testimonies, and we're going to have a little bit of that here, but we're going to do a little bit differently today. We're going to do more in the avenue of question and answer, because I do think this is a subject that we either haven't thought a whole lot about, or we have had some wrong ideas that's already all been addressed. So let me just start with this, and you've probably already said it, but maybe more in a casual fashion, just to ask you the question of why do you think this subject, and again, you just spent 25 minutes telling us, but if you had to summarize kind of more in a casual fashion, why is this so, as kingdom people, as the church, why is this such an important subject?
Yeah. I think it's because in the church, I've encountered a lot of people who feel alone in their church families, right? And I think they feel alone because they come to their church family with the assumption that they need to find someone around their age with the same hobbies and the same interests so that they could find people to enjoy time with, to have fellowship with. Because in some church families, you find that person right away, right? That person that you have immediate likemanship with, right? And you're trying to build that into friendship, right? But I think the witness of our church can really stand out if people are greeted when they come into this place, not just by people who are their age, right? But the people who are older than them, further along in life. Maybe it's a 21-year-old who's still single, and they're embraced by families with 4 kids, right? Or a retired couple invites them over for dinner, right? An old truck driver, widow, invites them to go to a movie together, right? Where do people in the world come together in unity across age, hobbies, interest? Nowhere but the kingdom of God, right? And so when Jesus talks about, or Paul talks about, in Christ there's neither male nor female, slave nor free, Jew nor Gentile, barbarian or Scythian, circumcised or uncircumcised. These are all walls that the world puts between people. And the good news of Jesus Christ, and Paul in Ephesians refers to the church as the new humanity. The people where all those walls have been broken down in the cross of Jesus. And so we all anticipate when the kingdom comes in its fullness and Jesus returns and we're resurrected with our new bodies that don't die, that we expect there's going to be this love between everyone, right? And the conviction of Jesus is you don't have to wait till the resurrection age to experience that. That is on display now.
So I didn't go into all your credentials. I probably should have earlier. But academic dean, so by the way, students, we left you in here for a reason. Academic dean over here at Great Lakes, that's your official title, is that right? Just making sure I said that right. Vice President of Academics. Vice President of Academics.
Official title.
There you go. One other credential is church planter. Had that, and so though you weren't the original planter, you did jump into a fledgling church in a sense in Lansing, and so you were able to form a culture there. So all that to ask the question, what does that look like in action? What does friendship look like in action in your church?
Yeah, for us it looks like seeking to do genuine life together with the whole body of Christ, right? And just to give you an example, what does this look like on the ground for me this week, right? I was out of town, and I flew back in town on Monday, so I didn't do anything but go home and sleep. But on Tuesday, in the morning, I got together with a brother in the body of Christ, and him and I do this 4 mornings a week. Between 7:30 and 8:15, we get together in the morning and do something with our hands. It might be someone in the church that needs their brakes changed. We get together and change the brakes. It may be someone who, the past couple of weeks, we worked on someone's roof that was leaking. They were shut-ins, unable to do the work themselves, didn't have the money to do that. We spent a couple of weeks doing a roof patching job, a little bit each day with 45 minutes. But we get together, we start our day serving throughout the body together. And we did that a couple of mornings this week. There was another brother in the church who's approaching 70 years old, and he was hospitalized. And so 4 times this week, I went to the hospital to visit him. And I'm not the preacher there. I don't get paid to do that. But he's a friend in the body of Christ, and he's sick. And each time I tried to take someone with me, someone different with me, each time I went. And so I'm building the friendship with that someone, and together we're loving on the brother that's in the hospital. On Tuesday evening, our small group within the church, the whole small group got together, and there's a man in our church who mows lawns for widows in his neighborhood. It's kind of a ministry of his, and one of those widows is trying to sell the house, but she has this shed in the backyard that just looks awful, and she couldn't afford to pay someone to paint the shed, and so our whole group got together on Tuesday night and painted that shed together. And what was cool about this woman, who's not a believer, is she saw teenagers, middle-aged people, retired people, single women in their 30s, 40s, all working together painting this shed, right? And she got to, and we brought a meal with us. We got sandwiches from Subway and broke bread together with her and involved her in our life. And so she got to be a part of our friendship and to see us laughing together, painting together. In the world, when someone needs a shed painted, you find, who's got the gift of painting, and 2 men go and do it, right? And that's good. That's friendship between those 2 men. They're using their gifts and serving. But we wanted to, and certainly, I have, ability in painting. I could have grabbed 2 of the best other painters in the church and, knocked that out 2 hours quicker. But we're building friendship here, and cross-generational friendship, and so we want to bring that witness to her neighborhood. So friendship in the kingdom means crossing lines, building relationship. I was greeted by a friend from college, asked, "Where's Beth, my wife?" And she's not here this morning because we're launching a new series at church, and she wanted to be there for the launch day. But Silas came with me, and he's a teenager in the church, and he's one of my friends. And we do things together. We play video games together. We do puzzles together. We've done construction projects together. Our church has paired up each of the middle schoolers and high schoolers in our church with one adult in a mentorship kind of friendship for the year. And we find ways to share life together. And so it was only natural for him and I to go on this road trip together and to do lunch together on the way home. And so we're looking as a church just to find concrete ways where things we're already doing, we intertwine with our friends, with our church family. So Silas helped me. I was building a little lean-to to cover my pool pump, and him and I spent time working on that together. And my neighbors get to see that and see this diverse array of friends that show up at John and Beth's house on a regular basis. So that's a few examples of what it's looked like for us.
I would love to sit up here and do this for, I would love to do it for another hour here. But I have one I certainly want to ask, because it's jumping into that hard territory here. We've all heard of missionary dating. Teens, don't do it. What about you've introduced the idea, what about missionary friendship? That, isn't that like a tactic we should use? We should go out and befriend those who don't yet know Jesus in order to win them to Jesus?
Yeah. I am intrigued by the notion of missionary friendship, but I think we need a richer definition of it. I think you can see missionary friendship as becoming best friends with an unbeliever to hopefully lead them to Christ. And you can call that friendship evangelism, right? But as we already saw in the scriptures, you can't really become best friends with an unbeliever when your world revolves around Christ and theirs doesn't. And so, I think a better way to think about this is relationship evangelism. We want to build strong relationships of trust, strong relationships of likemanship with coworkers, with neighbors, right? Do enough life together where they can get a glimpse of this deeper life and friendship you have in Christ. So I think true friendship evangelism, to use Jesus' language, they will know we are Christians by our love for one another. It's how we can be friends with one another in a deep Christ-like love in front of unbelievers. That's true friendship evangelism, because Jesus says it is our unity, our love for one another that the world is going to look at and say, man, I don't have that. I never experienced what they have there. And I want to have what they have. And so I think true missionary friendship is letting the world see our friendship, our costly friendship, our boundary-breaking friendships, our laying down our life for one another friendships, and to know that they don't experience that anywhere. They want to get to know what we have that they don't. So for them, on an individual level, yes, let's build relationships. Pour into them, get them close enough in a relationship with us so that they can see the deeper relationship we have with one another through Christ. So how to make our friendships visible, which is why I just didn't go and grab a couple of people and paint that woman's shed. We went as a diverse family, as a small group. We served together and invited her to break bread with us and share a meal so she could be a fly on the wall watching what we're doing, enjoying our fellowship, and hopefully wondering whether this is something that's a void in her own life that Christ might be able to fill for her. So I want to deepen that missionary friendship and tap into Jesus' conviction. Because, right, Jesus has the best strategies, right? Creator of the world. His strategy is best. And if he says the best way for people to come to know him is for us to love one another, then how dare we say that's not very effective? The best way to lead someone to Christ is to pour all of our friendship into them. Right? That's a lie. Right? Because it's not the way of the master. But if we don't have a real friendship a real relationship with them that allows them to see the deep friendship we have with one another, then we're like a light under a bushel. We have to go public with our friendship. We have to be visible in how we serve God together.
We should preach a sermon on that. No, that's a great way to conclude. I mean, I hope you heard in a lot of the language of we can see the end game. We're excited about that. We can understand Jesus' words, but for us, the application though is going to take some work. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take intentionality. It's going to take us being purposeful throughout a week. And at times, it might mean we sacrifice some things from our schedules. It might mean that we sacrifice some things that we really, really like for the cause of what it is we've been called to as a church family. So what I want to do is just wrap up here is we actually have a little celebration that we're going to have here in just a moment ourselves as we get to celebrate a life surrendered to Jesus and baptism here in just a moment. So worship team, I want to invite you on up here, but I want to pray just for all of us that we would be willing to allow God to tug on our heartstrings in this moment and just to recognize that this week that we all have opportunities like John just shared with us, that he gave a little bit of his rhythm, and there are ways that we can change our rhythms, and we can be intentional this week in order to invest in kingdom-centered friendship, not for our own glory, not for the growth of our church, but for the sake of what we've been called to do, to be a city on a hill. So let's pray together. Holy Father, we're humble before you. And God, I just pray that we would, just right there at the end with our challenge, that we wouldn't trust in our own understanding, but in all of our ways, we would lean on you. We know you make our path straight. We know that you give life abundantly. And God, we know that it's you that we find rest in. And so would we trust you in every area of our life? This week, would you show us the opportunities that we have? Maybe we're sent out 2 by 2. God, maybe there's just a way for us to invite someone into these relationships, these friendships that we have with one another, that they will be able to see the way that you love us. And so, God, be at work in us this week. Help us to be the church that you have called us to be. So, God, work in us and through us. And I pray all this in your Son's name. Amen.
Bless the Lord.
Would you stand with us?
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name, sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find.
seated for just another moment here.
This is a special moment always for us as a church family, but especially when many of us have gotten a front row seat to see the growth of Kathy, and she's had a long church background, and yet this is a moment for her where she's made the decision that she's ready on her own, with her own decision, she's ready to fully surrender her life to Jesus. And we've had lots of questions, lots of discussions, lots of folks that have just been explaining and pouring into her. And so this is such a special moment for us just to have a life that's ready to surrender to Jesus. And so here we are with Kathy. We're going to take her confession. We're going to baptize her into Christ. So Kathy, I ask you the two most important questions you'll ever answer, not merely with your mouth, but with your entire life, as we've talked about. First is this: do you believe that Jesus is the Christ and the Son of the living God? And are you ready to surrender to him as your Lord and Savior? And with that statement of faith, you are being baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Paul Spar, can I get you? Paul's one of our elders. He's going to have to make his way through the herd of kids there, but Paul's going to come. He's going to pray for Kathy.
Father God, as we come to you in prayer right now, we're thankful for Kathy's commitment to Jesus. We've watched the growth as she's attended here and finally made a decision that it's a blessing to our whole family in Christ. And Father, we pray as she goes forth in her life that she just continue to honor you and praise you through Jesus' name. And Father, we just thank you for her commitment and pray in Jesus' name too. Amen.
If you have a next step in your faith journey, if you're wondering how to deepen those friendships, maybe you want to make your own decision, maybe you want to talk about Jesus for the first time, we will meet us in the fireside room, or just grab someone around you who looks trustworthy, looks friendly. We would love to have a conversation with you. One announcement that I have, and then I'll have Paul come on up for a couple other announcements as well. Operation Christmas Child Boxes. We have our kids here, and there are kids all around the world who could be blessed by our gifts this year. These boxes go into countries that missionaries are not allowed into, but they will receive these boxes, and inside these Operation Christmas Child Boxes are not only your gifts to share your love, but also the gospel is presented with these boxes and ways for them to follow up to learn more. It is a great way for us to spread God's love to kids all across the world. So I would encourage you to pick up one of those boxes. If you've got grandkids, if you've got kids, take them with you when you go to fill them. They can help you pick out what to put in there. We've got some life groups that are filling those as well. So maybe get with your life group, see if they want to fill one. But it is a great outreach, a great ministry that really does mean a lot to everyone that gets those. Paul, you want to come on up. Paul's got a couple other announcements, and he'll pray for us, and then we'll have our final song here.
I think I've got a big enough mouth that I'll get a microphone. First off, congratulations, Kathy. I do need this?
If they're online.
Oh, for the recording, okay. Congrats again to Kathy. Praise God, that's just awesome, man. Yeah. I'm one of those guys that, evangelism, it makes my tail wag, so that's what I'm talking about. A couple other opportunities here, as Dr. Nugent mentioned, which it was great to see you again, by the way, buddy. I was just, Stacy and I went and visited our oldest son, Joshua, and his wife, Jordan, and we always get Christian on the phone as well, and both the boys were like, yeah, I wonder how Dr. Nugent's doing. And it's good to see you again, man. Thanks for sharing this morning. That was good stuff. And we have, in that thought, we have a couple opportunities more, in addition to Operation Christian Christmas Child. We have some opportunities here to be that friend of God and that light in the community and to share the gospel message. First off, it's that time of year again. Our Rake and Bake is just around the corner. So we're only 2 weeks away, and we're going to work in tandem with the City of Jackson pickup schedule for leaves again. So on November 1st, which is, we've got next week, and then the following Saturday after that, November 1st, at 9 o'clock here in the church building. Please, we need everybody's involvement. First off, absolutely soak this event. I mean, bathe it in prayer. We want to honor God. We want to plant the seed of the gospel, and we want to love each other as we love on the community as well. So please bake about a dozen cookies. Put 6 of them on a plate or in a baggie and cover them, because you're not going to get this back. So for those of you that are not familiar with it, we're going to meet here Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, with the cookies and with all of your yard equipment, your rakes and tarps and leaf blowers. And this year, I got a leaf blower that stands about this tall, and it's on wheels. So we're gonna be able to cover some ground this year. But 9 o'clock, we're going to have a crash course in how to plant the seed very simply, very easily. And then we're going to hit the road, and we're going to start off almost in the area where we did last year, with raking the leaves. And the way it works is we look for a yard that needs some help. We knock on the door, ask the homeowner, hey, there's no catch, there's no cost, can we rake the yard for you? Most of them will say yes. And as 20 people or so descend on the yard, it makes quick work of it. But the folks at the door hand them some cookies and say, what can we keep in prayer for you? And no matter what it is, we pray for them, and we include the gospel message of who Jesus is and what he did and what he offers. In other words, by way of the kingdom, he ushered that in, how they hear the gospel during this event. So the seed is planted. So this gives us the opportunity to not only be laser pointed with a homeowner, but it's also that scoop and chuck method of the seed too. Lord willing, we're going to cover a lot of ground Saturday. If we get rained out, no worries, we'll do it next weekend. It'll just take us to a different part of Jackson, that's all. So Saturday at 9, cookies, equipment, crash course in evangelism, and we're going to go love on some people. This year, we're also going to include, I've invited the Assemblies of God across the street, Cascades Fellowship, and our non-instrumental brothers and sisters down the street. So hopefully this is also going to kind of remind us of a principle of the Restoration Movement, that we're not the only Christians, we're Christians only. So we can agree on this common ground of the kingdom of God. So that Rake and Bake coming up in 2 weeks. Next, we also have a woman's event on November 2nd. So the Rake and Bake is the first, the ladies' event is the second, and it is a Friendsgiving. Bring a fall or winter theme mug for an exchange. If you'd like to bring a soup and or salad with a recipe card, please note that when you sign up. I will put this back at the Welcome Center. And just my personal thought, I think you ladies should come dressed up as a pilgrim or an Indian or turkey. I'm just saying it could be fun. You know what I mean? So speaking of fun, just word of warning, parents, I encourage you to bring the kids regardless of the age, because it also shows them service. And just from personal experience, it's possible that a parent with a leaf blower might spot an unsuspecting child, and sometimes a leaf fight can break out. It's been known to happen, but it's a lot of fun. With that, why don't we pray and we'll sing that, all right? Father in heaven, thank you again for your Son Jesus, who is the Christ. And in the power and the presence of your Holy Spirit, Lord, we thank you for Kathy's decision. We pray for the continued growth and excitement in her life and her relationships and her service and her closeness to you. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to dive deep into a biblical perspective of friendship. Lord, we thank you for the privilege that you call us friends. Lord, we pray that we would strengthen the relationships with our brothers and sisters for true, meaningful friendship that is centered and anchored on your kingdom. Lord, we love you, we praise you, and we ask that we would be thinking your thoughts and being about your business all week. In Jesus' name, amen.
Would you stand?
We were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. 'Cause we were the beggars, now we're royalty. We were the prisoners, now we're running free. We are forgiven, accepted, redeemed by His grace. Let the house of the Lord sing praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy in the house of the Lord today. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. There's joy in the house of the Lord. Our God is surely in this place. And we won't be quiet. We shout out your praise. Oh, oh, oh. We shout out your praise. We shout out your praise.
Amen. Have a wonderful week.